Since the release of information by Greenville Mayor Eddie DeArmond that he will not be running for office again, KenCo News has gotten continuous feedback by sad local citizens stating that they will greatly miss Mayor DeArmond, as well as expressing their thankfulness for the amazing impact that he has had upon the Greenville community. Though Mayor DeArmond has made some major improvements and changes within the Greenville city limits, his services to local communities are much more impressive than some would realize. Mayor DeArmond has always been a man with a dedication to his goals, and those goals have always been to serve and protect. Mayor DeArmond started serving his country as a soldier in the U.S. Army. After serving there, he became a Kentucky State Police trooper, protecting our local citizens. Not long after that, he became the mayor of Greenville. KenCo News had the honor of speaking with Mayor DeArmond on Monday, February 10th, regarding all the services that he has spent his life putting forth for his community.
Lived here all my life. Attended a one-room school there at Rosewood. Had my first job there when I was 10 years old. I built a fire and swept the floor. Started out at 50 cents a week, and they raised me to $1 a week. And in the afternoons, I packed coal and wood for two widows, and they paid me $1 a week, so I was making $3 a week. Took my basic training at Fort Knox. I was sent to Fort Hood, Texas, in 1st Armored Division and a field artillery unit. I stayed down there approximately 7 months, and then I had orders for Vietnam. I took my Vietnam training there at Fort Hood, then they shipped me to Fort Lewis, Washington. And at that point, I received my malaria shots and started taking the pills. Got my jungle fatigues in preparation of shipping to Nam. After I'd been there several days, things kind of shut down, and they came down and said there had been a diversion. A third would be going to Vietnam, a third to Korea, and a third to Germany. And for some reason they pulled me out and told me I was going to Germany, so they shipped me back across country to Fort Dix, and from there I went into Frankfurt, Germany, into Heidelberg, and I ended up in a psychological operations unit. We were the smallest battalion in the United States Army. As soon as I came out, I knew when I was 16 years old I was going to be one of two things. I was going to be a professional baseball player, or I was going to be a state trooper. That was my goals. I spent a week at the St. Louis Cardinals camp. I did not get drafted, and I also spent a couple of days at the Pittsburgh Pirates camp, and I saw that more likely that I wasn't going to be able to play professional baseball. So my goal was to try to get a couple of years of college, get my military obligation, then get into the state police. So I entered college. I was just barely 17. I spent 2 years of college. Then I came out after my 2 years, and I got drafted. So then after I fulfilled my military obligation, I joined the state police in early part of 72. I was a trooper for about 7 years. Started out working in Todd County. I'll tell you a little story. We had a post meeting on the 22nd of April of 1973. We had a post meeting, and I didn't have a car. Back then we didn't have cars, and so we had to ride with the older troopers. And I would drive to Elkton and catch a trooper there, and because the state police didn't have any cruisers for my class. So on the 22nd of April in 73, my ride had a medical issue, and they told me I needed to find me a trooper to ride with. And I said, well, what's my options? And they gave me 3 options, and one of those options was Trooper Joe Ward. And I'd ridden with Joe, knew him well. 22nd of April in 73, they came and said, who would you like to ride with? I said, I want to ride with Joe Ward in Christian County. I'm going to ride with him on a 2 to 10 shift. About 30 minutes later, the same sergeant came back and said, you need to find another ride, because Joe has already received an assignment with another trooper who came out of my cadet class. So I signed off on with another trooper on a 06 to 14 shift, and I heard Joe come out on the 1400 shift, and about 8 o'clock at night I got a call from a trooper friend of mine up in Dry Ridge, and he had just heard it come over the air that Joe was just been killed. So I would have been with him that night, and I wondered hundreds of times, and every time I drive down the Pennyroyal Parkway and pass that place where he was killed, I think about him, and I've thought hundreds of times might have been different had I been with the sheriff, one deputy, three of us. We didn't have the radios you take out of the car with you. We didn't have the protective screens. We worked long hours. We didn't receive compensation for the overtime we put in. In 2006, I had different ones says, hey, why don't you run for this office and that office? And I had some friends and that says, did you ever think about running for mayor? And I said, well, not really. They said, well, we really need you to run because we think you've got something to offer the city and the county. And I said, I'm just really not. Then some of my family told me, says, my daughter in particular says, Dad, you really do need to run for mayor. So I've always considered Greenville my home, even though I was born and raised in Rosewood. I love Greenville. There's no other place I want to live. So after deliberating quite a bit and everything, I decided to throw my hat in the ring, and I laid out a roadmap, if you will, of where I wanted to take the city as a whole, the business community, the people that reside here have just been phenomenal. It's just amazing, and people have, they've come out. They come out 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 strong every Saturday night and support our concerts, and they've just it's just a real warm feeling from my perspective. I drive a car that I paid for. I've turned down pay raise on 3 or 4 occasions. They've asked me about taking a raise. I'm not. But I've given 100%. Every day I come in, I give 100%. I try to do the people's business. I'm not a politician. I'm an elected official doing the will of people. I want to go out on top. I want to go out on a positive note. I've served my country. I've served the Commonwealth. I've served the county. I've served the community for 40 years. I have a 2-year-old grandson that I want to spend some time with. My daughter grew up during my tenure with the KSP, and I was a SWAT team leader and hostage negotiator, and I was on a lot of missions. I was out a lot, and I was in Frankfurt in training, and I missed some prime time with her, and I don't want to miss that opportunity with my grandson. I want to spend some time with him. I'm an elected official doing the will of the people. That's all I am, and I've never felt like that I was any more special than anybody else. I couldn't have begun to have done the things that's been done here without, first of all, support of the community, the Tourism Commission, the Utilities Commission, my city administrator, my police officers, my firemen. I said, if I look good, it's because of them. It's not me. It's because of the team that's assembled here in this town. Like I said, I grew up in a small community, learned to work early, learned the benefits of hard work and fair play, and how to treat people and everything. And I can be tough if need to be, but I believe in treating people like they treat me. But I've had a charmed life, and I'm a lucky guy. I have kept my promise to the people. I've worked hard. I've been dedicated. I've done my job without cronyism and favoritism. I've treated everybody as fair as I know how to treat them, and I've listened to them, and it's been a great 7+ years, and I'm going to ride off in the sunset at the end of this year.
Upon the request of many local citizens, Kentucky County News would like to take this opportunity to thank Mayor Ed DeArmond for all that he has done for so many. This man has truly put the lives of others before his own and has spent a lifetime of dedication and love for our community. Mayor DeArmond, you are a hero to many, and we, your community, honorably salute you.